Hi guys, this is Andy Hale from the Asheville School of Wine, and today we're going to talk to you about aging wines and starting a cellar. So it's a popular misconception that any wine that you get at the grocery store, at the CVS, wherever, if you leave it in your cellar or underneath your fridge for 10-15 years, it will magically get better. That is not the case, unfortunately. I really wish it was. There are very few wines that will actually age. In fact, Jancis Robinson, Master of Wine and Wine Advisor to the Queen of England, actually said that about 90% of all of the wine out there in the world right now should be consumed basically right now. Not this very minute, not tonight. You've got a minute. Within basically a year, 2, 3 maybe. Basically the idea being that 90% of the wines out there will not improve with age at all. So that leaves about 10%, the top 10% of the wine in the world will get better with age at all. But she says only the top 1% will age longer than 10 years. So if you're wanting to start a cellar and you want some wines that are going to be incredible in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, on my 25th anniversary, we're going to pop this open. You have to really pick a special bottle. So before I go into which wines can age, let's talk about some things that allow a wine to age for 10 years or more. So, several factors. First one being tannin, that astringent sensation that you get in your mouth. Say when you pop open a young Cabernet. That's tannin. Dries your mouth out, and that actually helps a wine age, but also it declines as a wine ages, which is generally a good thing. So wines will mellow out a little bit over time. Second, acidity will help a wine age as well. So actually you can age some whites that have high levels of acidity. That's that tart flavor. Also a few other things that help a wine age. Believe it or not, residual sugar will help a wine keep around for a while, and alcohol will help a wine age for a long time. So these are the main factors. So why age a wine at all? Why not enjoy the wine that you have this evening? So as I mentioned earlier, wines with high levels of tannin, the tannins will decrease, the wines will get more approachable, easy to drink, and smoother. Also, as a wine ages, the fruit declines and you get more complex secondary flavors. You kind of get more spice, more dried fruits. Generally, most wines will increase in complexity over time. One other thing you'll notice if you start a cellar and you start opening up older wines is you may notice at the last pour from a bottle, you'll end up with a lot of sediment. This is normal and it won't hurt you, but it may look like you have a bunch of coffee grounds in the bottom of your glass. Don't drink them, they're not a whole lot of fun, but if you get some in your mouth, don't worry about it, it's not going to hurt you or anything like that. And it's a completely normal part of aging your wine. So if you're wondering which wines will age for a longer amount of time, look for wines that have high levels of tannin, acidity, and some of those other factors that I mentioned. Or if you happen to you bought a case and you end up popping open the first bottle and just go take a sip and oh my goodness, it just starts pulling on your fillings. It's like you're pulling your teeth out of your mouth. Maybe that needs to age for a while. But also, if you're looking for wines that'll age for a long time, think about looking for wines with a history of ageability, the classics. So these generally aren't super affordable, but they will generally last for a long time. Wines such as Barolos from northwestern Italy, Bordeaux, obviously French, Brunello di Montalcino. These guys, for the most part, need about 10 years before you want to pop it open. Just not going to be a whole lot of fun before then. In addition to that, though, there are some whites that will age for a while as well. Very few, though. Generally, you want to drink your whites within, like, maybe 3 to 5 years for the most part. There are some exceptions, though. Certain Chenin Blancs from the Loire Valley, such as this Sauvignon, are known to go for 20, maybe even 30 years. If you get a good quality one, they can age for a while, and they'll increase in complexity over time as well. Also, get a good quality Riesling. They'll last for a very long time, 20, 30 years as well. And they get more syrupy and just gorgeous as time goes on. Also, while we're talking about age, let's address the pink elephant in the room. There's a myth that you have to drink your rosé within the first year. It's not exactly true. As I mentioned earlier, fruit will decline after a little bit of time. So if the only thing that's going on in your rosé is fruit, that's all that it is, just fruit, that's what you're looking for, then yeah, it's probably not going to be quite as expressive as it used to be. Some can be kind of dead. I've had some and they just have like nothing going on. But if there's more to your rosé than just fruit, such as this Bandol, those other flavors will gain complexity over time. But if you're really looking for something you can open up in 30, 40 years, if you've got a lot of time to kill, think about something like vintage port, such as this one, this Kopke 2011. If you've opened up a bottle of vintage port before 20 years from the vintage date on there, you've made a horrible mistake. Give it 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. And then if you really need something to stand the test of time, consider Madeira. If you have a bottle of Madeira at home in your cellar and you forgot about it, it's fine. It will, if you were frozen in some sort of an experiment and woke up 300 years in the future, your bottle of Madeira will still be drinking great. Aging wine can be a lot of fun, and having a cellar is something that I personally enjoy doing. I enjoy working on it, adding to it, and going through and kind of deciding, is this wine ready to drink or not? If you want to get into that yourself, that's something that we can help you with here at Metro Wines. We can actually put together boxes for you if you'd like to stock a cellar, and just let us know how long you want it to last and what price point you'd like to end up at. Also, not all of them have to be super expensive. Every once in a while you'll find something like this Sorelli Palazzi, which we popped it open recently and we're just stunned by, first of all, the amount of tannin that it had, especially for being 5-year-old Sangiovese, but also the complexity that it had already. My friend and I bought a case each of the Chianti from this producer, and I plan on forgetting about it for 5 years. But if you're interested in something like this, let us know soon. There's a limited amount. Well, that's what I have for you today, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and enjoy your cellar.